Well, I thought of doing a live video, as you guys can all see from the topic for today. We're gonna be talking about something interesting. I don't know whether you guys can see me or not. I think this side is much better. We're gonna be talking about an interesting topic which is called Africa. Because me traveling or meeting friends from different countries, they often ask me, where are you from? And I often tell them that I'm from Africa. But some of them, they actually don't know what is Africa, and they're so curious, So after meeting friends from different countries, I always try to explain to them, share some knowledge about it, and yeah. So today, I guess we've got some friends who are watching us from different countries. Oh, sorry, a mosquito here. There's a mosquito I was trying to kill in the office, eh? Yeah, I was trying to kill a mosquito. It's here. It was trying to bite me as I'm doing my podcast today. So, I've got mosquitoes because it's so hot. It's summer. So Africa is actually a continent, and inside it has about 56 countries, And apart from it having 56 countries, it is actually divided into the northern part, the southern part, the eastern part, the western part, and the central part. So for example, if we talk about Africa in the eastern part, we've got countries like Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. Those countries are from the eastern part. If we talk about West Africa, we've got countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, Liberia. Those are from the western part. If we talk about Southern Africa, we've got countries like South Africa, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Malawi, Mozambique, Lesotho. Those countries are from the Southern Africa. And if we talk about the Northern Africa, we've got countries like Libya, Egypt, and other countries on top of Africa there. So imagine Africa being divided into 4 parts. I've only talked about the 4 parts now. And there's the 5th part, which is like the central part, which is like where in the central part of Africa, in the middle, like where we've got countries like maybe Central Republic, Seychelles, and some other countries, And yeah, that's about the geographical position of the continent Africa. So some people often ask me some questions. Is Africa a country? Some people think that Africa is a country. Actually, towards that question, Africa is not a country, it's actually a continent. And it has 56 countries in it. And in all the 56 countries in it, they all have their own traditions, tribes, foods, cultures, anything you can talk about, languages, you're gonna find it in there. So when you go to Southern Africa, you're gonna find that each and every country has got its own culture. We pick up maybe Zambia. Zambia's got about, I don't know, more than 70 something languages. South Africa, it also has so many languages. Zimbabwe, also so many languages. And most of the countries in the southern part of Africa, they were colonized by the British. That's you're gonna find that when you go to the southern part of Africa, you're gonna find people often speak English, like everybody. We all speak English. Most of us who come from Southern Africa because we were colonized by the British. That is the history about Africa. So South Africa, Zimbabwe, and some other Southern Africa countries, they were all colonized by the British. And countries like Tanzania, they speak their local language, like Swahili. I don't know much about the Tanzania history, but most of the African countries, they were colonized Like when we talk of Congo, they speak French. Cameroon, they speak French. Those countries were colonized by the French people. And is it Mozambique, which was colonized by the Portuguese, and they speak Portuguese, I think, in Mozambique. Some countries like Liberia, they speak Spanish. They were also colonized by the Spanish people. Or I don't know, by the Americans, but they speak. I don't know much about the West Africa, but all I can say is like most of the countries in Africa, whether they like it or not, they were all colonized by the British, French, Spanish, Germany, and so on. And when we try to talk about maybe countries like Ethiopia, Ethiopia is the only country in Africa which wasn't colonized. Imagine out of the 56 countries, there's only one country in Africa which wasn't colonized by the British, and it is called Ethiopia. And they speak their own local dialect. How beautiful it is. Nigeria was also colonized by the British. Interesting. Then when we go to northern part of Africa, countries like Egypt, those guys, they speak Arab. Because I don't know much about their history. But yeah, Morocco, Egypt, and some other countries on top there, they speak some kind of Arabic languages. Sudan was also colonized by the British. But yeah, those are some kind of international languages which our colonizers brought upon us as Africans, and like we use them, and it's interesting, right? Then in Africa we have different kinds of traditions. For example, when you go to the southern Africa, each and every country has got its own traditions like which they follow. When you go to the West Africa, countries like Kenya, they also have their own traditions, culture, and food. But I think the only thing which unites us in Africa is that everybody eats what we call shima or ugali. Like we all eat that. It is some kind of traditional meal which is made from the meal powder or corn powder, and then you make a starch from it, and then you can eat it with vegetables, chicken, any kind of meat. That is like a traditional food in Africa. So if you come to Africa, if you go to Africa, please remember to eat some unshima. Yeah? And then we talk about some other thing. Africa has got so many minerals. And yeah, it is a beautiful land. It is so rich. So many minerals. You're gonna find the gold, the diamonds, everything. You find it in Africa. And most of the stuff they're exported to other countries around the world. And it's so interesting, right? Yeah. South Africa is a beautiful continent. It is so rich. And yeah. And Africa is beautiful because you're gonna find all sorts of animals which you're looking for. Imagine looking for the best safari in the world. You're looking for the best safari in the world. You can only find it in Africa, You're looking for the tallest mountain in Africa, Kilimanjaro. You're only gonna find it in Africa. Is it Tanzania, Kenya, or in Kenya? I don't know. Mount Kilimanjaro. You're looking for the world's largest waterfalls. You're still gonna find it in Africa. It is located in Zambia. There are so many touristic attractions in Africa. You're looking for the world's best pyramids. You're gonna find them in Africa. You're looking for the world's largest oil refinery, or Africa's largest oil refinery. You're also gonna find it in Africa, in Kenya. You're looking for the world's largest copper producer. You're gonna find it in Africa as well, only in Zambia. Africa is so rich and so blessed. You're looking for oil, anything. Gold, diamonds, they're all in Africa. So guys, just like a story I was trying to share with you about Africa. Africa is a continent, it's not a country. And in it, there are about 6 countries in it. So if you hear somebody telling you that Africa is a country, that's a lie. Go to Google, research, and get to know about African culture, African traditions. African traditions are so popular, and they carry a lot of history and a lot of culture. So when you visit Africa, don't forget to immerse yourself into the African culture or the African traditions. Thank you for watching my video. So as you can see, guys, like a little bit busy here as I've been doing my blog. It's because I'm in the office and I'm on the computer. I'm trying to have a chat with you guys whilst I'm doing my own work. But it was good to talk about Africa today. It was just a short podcast which I was trying to make to discuss Africa with you guys. So, peace. In case my knowledge wasn't so correct as I discussed Africa with you guys, please forgive me. It's my fault. God bless.